I studied international leisure and tourism management. Hotels, got a big promotion and had my own sales division to lead at the age of 27.
You know what? I would also like to corporate leader as a female in an industry where it's male dominated. How did you navigate that? Because it's not so easy.
Not easy.
How did you take feedback? Like you're in a place where you feel like you're excelling and someone is giving you this feedback that you need to improve in these areas. Like how did you feel?
When I got that promotion, I then had to negotiate my salary, and probably they were counting on just like kind of getting me quite cheaply, but I am very conscious about the pay gap. You know, that you have between females and males.
When females climb the corporate ladder at a young age, there's always like talks that maybe she slept with
definitely
executives.
Definitely.
And what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I had that too, definitely. How everything developed, and that I'm now able to have my own company doing exactly that, the yoga, the fitness, the events.
Gosh. One thing I must say I'm grateful for, you know, with this assignment of, you know, working in China is actually meeting amazing people, getting to learn different cultures. And the more I interview people from different countries, the more I learn, the more I discover a lot about their culture. And today we are continuing with season 3 of Career and Corporate Hub podcast. And I am joined by Mari.
Yay! Maybe I take my head off and you see my face more.
Yes. We want to see your beautiful face. Yeah. Welcome, Mari.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for inviting and having me.
I am so excited. You can see I'm also wearing her brand. So we're going to talk more on what Mari does. But I just want to have a nice build up to understand, you know, like your childhood going up to where you are now, which is quite inspiring as well. So Mari, welcome to Career and Corporate Hub.
Thank you so much.
So who is Mari? Like, you know, when somebody asks you, who is Mari? What would you say?
It's difficult to say because I feel like I have a lot of sides of me. And depending from which glasses you look at me, maybe you see a totally different person. So usually I say, well, I'm a yoga teacher and a fitness coach. I'm a mom of 3. I'm a German, which also kind of forms the personality to a certain extent, right? I'm also a party girl. I love to, you know, go out and have fun with my friends. I'm an athlete. I love to do competitions like High Rock, Spartan. I'm a coffee lover. I love to drink coffee and explore.
I just acquired the coffee taste recently.
Really? Oh, and you're in the right place, because in Beijing there are so many great coffee shops. So if you go to 798, you could probably try a different coffee shop each day and not be done in a year or something. So it's really great. The coffee culture here is developing so nicely, so interestingly, and they are so creative with using coffee as an ingredient in cocktails and everything. I love it. So that are all aspects of me, but of course there's much more, but I think like that's the essence.
We'll unpack as we go. You know, I actually had an interview with like one of my friends, and she spoke about if somebody asks you who is, for an example, who is Kodani, apart from me being a mom, an engineer, like who is she? You know. And now when like you are talking, you know, like who you are, like your roots, mom has to come up all the time. Why do you think we define ourselves as like moms? Because that's my brand as well, like a working mom in a way.
I mean, I don't really define myself as a mom, but of course it is a big part of who I am right now, because it defines my day. I mean, right? And all the tasks we do every day. But I think I've always been someone who didn't really like that. This is the mom of. I was always like, no, my name is Marie. Yes, this is my son. I'm proud of him, but I don't define myself as the mom of, or being a mom. Yeah. But of course, sometimes you give yourself. You're the working mom. I sometimes say twin mom with abs.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, this is so cool. And I mean, when you look at your profile, you do see the abs. You're one of the people who inspire me, by the way. I'm like, I want to be, mom of two with abs. Yeah.
And sometimes I think, oh my God, this is so cheesy somehow to put a stamp on. But we all know that, I mean, we are all complex beings, but you have to kind of tone it down and give it a nice slogan, like marketing wise. So I thought, okay, this is what people keep asking me about. So yeah, I'm a twin mom with abs because apparently that's quite rare or something. So
I'm sure. I mean, after like carrying twins and yeah. But I'm so excited to get into a conversation with you, more especially because of your journey moving from Germany coming to China, which we are definitely going to touch a little bit later. But I also want to get educated about how life is like Germany, like how was life when you were growing up?
Yeah, it's interesting, definitely. Yeah, and everything's part of the journey, right? So like the growing up all forms us into who we are today. So
definitely. So how was your childhood? Like, how was your upbringing?
Let me just check if it's still. It's not. It's not. I was born in the eastern part of Germany. Okay. So. Okay. After the World War II, the country was separated into 4 zones. We were in the communism zone. Okay. So that was, I was still born in the 80s, where the wall was up in Berlin. So my upbringing, even though the wall came down when I was just 3 years old, still my upbringing kind of was in this communism zone, because of course the teachers were educated in that system. My grandparents grew up in that, so a lot of influence from that is probably within me, and it's also my husband is also from that part of the eastern part of Germany, and it is sometimes, I think it's a different, it has some character traits that you can see throughout those people. For example, it was super normal that women were in the workforce, whether in the western part of Germany, it's normal for women to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom and housewife. Okay. So we grew up with our moms working, earning the same amount of money than the dads, or even more. Like in my case, my mom earned more than my dad. So it is a different kind of dynamic in a relationship, I believe, than the husband being the breadwinner and the woman staying home, only devoting her life to the household and the kids.
Because I mean, when you look at the olden days, we always think that every culture, women were at home, husbands were working.
Yeah.
And now to learn
this
perspective is like, okay, that's new to me. You see
definitely.
Why I love this podcast. We get to learn.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I hear, like, I've got a lot of German colleagues. I work for a German company. I usually hear more of the south and the north.
Yeah, the south and usually with the where you work, you have more of the traditional roles, because that's in a very traditional area.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what's interesting about our upbringing is that this was normal. That also it was normal for the women to return to the workplace quite early. That we had a really good childcare system. That even up to this day now, they are still saying like, oh, and the Eastern German like kindergarten and nursery school system and everything was so good, because there was this space for everyone, and children were educated from a young age, and were also quite into physical education, so a lot of sports and everything. So there were some things that were definitely quite good from my point of view. Of course, I'm a fitness coach and I'm a working mom, so I think like
this is the fitness part is also inspired from where you come from.
In general, I think people from where I'm from or from my family are quite active. Okay. They are all just, you know, even my grandparents, I still have both pairs of grandparents. They're still alive and they are fit because they walk instead of taking the car, or they bike. If they go on holiday, they go hiking. They do active things. My grannies, they are in kind of, you know, groups where they practice dancing and stuff like that. So
is it like here in China where like if you go to the parks,
they don't do it outside in the parks? But it is, I mean, they are a group, but usually they meet somewhere inside and they are part of a kind of club and they pay for it. It's not like in China where everything is like free and they just meet outdoors. But like I love the concept. Yeah.
You just dance. So I've never seen like people doing it, but I've heard that a lot of people
You've never seen? No. Oh my God. Yeah. I have to take you to a park. It's the best thing. Yeah, it's the best thing. I love this because I think it solves so many problems. Especially when you look at the elderly generation, the people that are retired and like just this kind of sense of community, sense of I belong somewhere, and of course the activity part, which also keeps the brain active and like helps with so many like age-related diseases. It's just it's
because
just
a lot of people perfect. When they retire, it's more like you're just waiting to die.
Yeah, falling into a hole and you don't know what to do with yourself anymore, and then you have the problem that maybe if the spouse dies, then you're getting lonely. And I think this kind of Chinese way of everyone gathering in the morning and everyone has some kind of, whether it's mahjong or dancing or tai chi or whatever, qigong or whatever they do, it's just keeps them active. It's really, really good. Yeah. I guess I started exercising because it sounds so like superficial, but actually I wanted to have abs. Because when I grew up in the like end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s, when I became aware of the fashion, everything was cropped and the jeans were super low. So you had a long like midriff, you saw, like if you know, crop top and the low hip jeans, you saw a lot of tummy, and I thought like it looks so much cooler if you have a toned abs.
That is so true. So you've always had abs, like
I started training at 8. It sounds bad, but I did.
And you maintained. That's so cute. She doesn't only have twins; she's got 3.
3 kids. Yeah,
that is amazing. So you know,
that means I have the like visible abs for 30 years now. I'm turning 38.
Imagine, 38. Like maintaining that. That's like discipline. That's like discipline.
I guess. Yeah, so it's a very superficial reason, but once you start training, of course, I also realized I was getting, I was feeling better, I was feeling stronger because I was quite a good student. But the only subject in primary school where I had a B, like A is the best grade in Germany, and I had a B in sports and physical education. And that was really like, I don't know, bugging me.
So everything else, it was like A.
Yeah. And I wanted to have all A's. So I started like working out with my dad, and then I got an A in sports as well. Yeah, I was super proud. And then I started to feel like, oh, it's nice to be stronger. It's nice to feel faster. Even like, of course, you can't be always top at the class, but you can try. Like for me, it was always about this kind of willingness to do something and discipline as well. Because from the genes, I'm not really an athletic type, but I have a very strong willpower, and that was what pushed me through. Yeah,
which is great. So you going to school? I heard in Germany there's like O levels or something that if you're a top learner, there's like a high school that you go to. And if you're an average, you go to like a different high school. Please explain that. How does it work?
They separate the children after primary school at grade 4. So for grade 5, for middle school, you already go to like what is according to your level. My parents didn't really want that, so I went to a different school. I went to we call it Waldorf school, Rudolf Steiner school. It's a different kind of approach where you have all children learning together, and you also have a different kind of lessons. You learn more. You don't have every day one lesson of mathematics, one lesson of German, one lesson of this. We have like 6 weeks, the main subject of the day being biology, for example. So we have like for 6 weeks of the year, we learn the biology that other people learn in a year, but we have it like intense. So we do experiments, we do all kinds of stuff. And then after 6 weeks, we write our big exam, and then we are done for the year.
That's a different type of learning.
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved it.
It was like, the whole year you have actually every day you've got different subjects.
Yeah. We always had this kind of main subject, which was changing throughout the year. And then we had some things that were there every week. Like for example, twice a week you have physical education, twice a week you have handicrafts or whatever it is. But even in the handicrafts, we changed the subjects. We were learning like how to work with clay for several weeks, and then we switched to another different subject. Like,
I think it makes a lot of sense also.
It was good because it was very intense and you could really take away something. I feel like I didn't just learn for the grade, but I really learned they showed us how to understand the things. And that's what I really liked.
It sounds like you were doing like a more hands-on work.
Yeah, it was very hands-on, and it was about intrinsic motivation, because we didn't get grades until the like high school diploma, until the very last. So that means that you have to motivate yourself to keep pushing and keep learning.
I still don't understand the school's system with no grades, honestly. And
but to be honest, if you write your exam and they tell you have like 91%, I think it's more accurate than just getting a B, or I don't know, whatever it is.
Oh, you mean in that manner, that instead of getting a B, you get like the actual marks.
Yeah, or you have like like if you know everything, you get 100%, and you get you knew, I don't know, 91%, then you kind of know what it is. It's not that you are totally floating and like think maybe I'm good, maybe I'm not. You kind of know what it is. And the end of year evaluations of the teachers for me was always much worse with the accurate report they did, instead of just having a grade. Because if I would have a grade and it just says like it's A or B, whatever it was, that kind of doesn't really say what was my motivation, what was my manner that I showed up in the class, how did I distract the others, was I polite to the teacher? All those kinds of things.
He wants like a full evaluation.
They did a full evaluation for every subject. And for me, that was not really better than just getting a grade, because it was much more accurate. And
yeah, I mean, as a child, you get to, like, your parents get to know where you can improve, more especially like building confidence in different areas. So I think, it makes a lot of sense. And what did you study, like after your matric or after your diploma?
I studied international leisure and tourism management. So it's like a business management with this kind of specific topic of leisure and tourism, because I was living and born in a touristic area, and I studied in English because from a very early age on, I was interested in international cultures, in languages, because of the communism, my parents were not really allowed to travel unless it was where were they allowed to go? I think Hungary or something. So like it was just one country they were allowed to go, or they couldn't go anywhere. So I was really seeing this opportunity of we can travel and explore the world, so we should. And I really wanted to, you know, learn English and just see the world. And
I see why your English is so good. You know, a lot of German people have got like a German accent when they speak English, but your one is very much diluted. Now I see. It's because you studied in English.
I studied in English, and I also started to learn English quite early for German circumstances. When I was 8 years old, and my parents asked me, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to learn an instrument? Do you want to do any, you know, after school activities? I said, I want to learn English. So that was when I started.
That's
so
nice.
It gave, the reason is very, it's a little bit, not shameful, but no, not, I'm not ashamed of that, but I was a big fan of the Backstreet Boys. And I fell in love with Nick Carter. And I wanted to understand what they are singing. That was my motivation to learn English. Yeah, I was so in love with him, and I thought, like, well, if I'm really serious about those guys,
he's not gonna watch this.
Oh, he knows that. He looks a little bit like Nick Carter. He's my personal Nick Carter. But it's that was really my motivation, because I wanted to understand what they are singing. And I also thought, well, if I ever want to like meet him, I want to be able to talk to him. So I think whatever the motivation is, at the end, the result was I learned English. So
it worked out well, because you know, in a lot of places you are required to use English.
Yes,
more especially when you're traveling.
And you know what's wonderful now? My sons, when you ask them what is their favorite song, they will say Everybody by the Backstreet Boys. I swear.
No. How? Were you playing the song like regularly?
Last year, my friends got married, and they asked me to be part of a flash mob of their wedding dance, doing like some cool choreography. And the song they chose, not me, they chose, was Everybody. So I was practicing at home the dance moves, and my boys saw it, and they were totally hooked by the songs. And like they even asked, like, can we listen to more of the Backstreet Boys? So now we listen, like my dreams coming true. We listen at home to the Backstreet Boys.
Should take you there to meet him. And then case closed.
Yes, exactly.
You go with him, not without him.
Yeah.
So now studying traveling.
Yeah, it's leisure tourism management. Yeah.
Leisure tourism management. Okay. Obviously, you said you were inspired by just how the community was into like tourism. What was going through your mind as in like where you were going to work after you've obtained your degree?
Well, during the study, I realized, wow, tourism is a hard business. You know, you always work when everyone's on holiday, you work during public holidays, you work on the weekends and everything. So, but I didn't know anything else, because where I grew up was tourism. So all my jobs, like when I was a student working on the side, was like in hotels, in restaurants. So that was all I knew. But during the studies, I realized I made some coaching. I did some coaching, and I found out what suits my personality best, and which other areas of business, of industries I could explore. And then I wanted to have a switch. So I did my internship at a German car company.
Okay.
And for that German car company, I then went to China, to Shanghai, to write my final thesis. And that's where I met my husband. He's an engineer as well, working there at the car company, also as an intern, now still working at the car company. But yeah, that's how we met. And then, because I wanted to explore, I did marketing. I did my internship and my bachelor thesis in marketing and sponsoring strategy. And I realized that marketing you can't really do if you don't understand sales. Like it was always like, when you do the marketing, it's good to understand how sales work, what sales strategies are behind that, because otherwise it's just you kind of doing like things that are up in the air, and the salespeople that then have to use it can't really
interpret
use of it. Yeah. So I thought, okay, first, if you're really serious about marketing, do some sales. And then I looked for a sales manager position where I could kind of gain a lot of experience. And then I switched industry again and went into worked for the biggest coffee company in Germany.
Is that why you fell in love with coffee?
I have been already in love with coffee. That's why I wanted to work there. And but that's why I have a high interest in coffee and coffee shops and barista and how they roast it and how they mix it and like everything. But yeah, that was then how I started my first job. I went into this it was a kind of management trainee program for like young high potentials. And then I went through different positions, started as a district manager, and then I went into the headquarter for having a junior position for key account management with big companies that we were acquainted with. And then I got a big promotion and had my own sales division to lead at the age of 27. Yeah, that was really great. So I was really it was
in the corporate ladder.
Yes, very, very nicely, very challenging sometimes, because the sales the sales business, the sales industry in that part is still mainly male dominated and male older men. So as a very young woman, I was always a little bit the unicorn, a little bit different. And I also don't drink alcohol, which means, because they always say the best deals are made at the bar. So I had to find other ways to kind of stand my ground and really work hard and pursue what I believe in and work hard and show them I understand the numbers. I really have, the arguments, the hard facts and everything. And it was a really good school, and it was, I loved it. I was traveling around and everything.
To different countries, or?
Within Germany.
Okay.
And it was very fun until COVID came. And then it was not fun anymore.
A lot of things.
Yes.
You know what? I would also like to talk more on you climbing the corporate ladder as a female in an industry where it's male dominated. How did you navigate that? Because it's not so easy.
It's not easy. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say like it's easy when you do this and that, because it is different for everyone. And everyone has a different level of tolerance of, I don't know, jokes or stuff like that. I guess I'm pretty casual about those, macho jokes and everything. And I'm like, I don't know. It kind of, I was always very confident and didn't really take things too personal. And I was also having good mentors. So I received, for example, when the boss of the company saw me in a negotiation, and he was like, she has all the arguments, but when she gets nervous, you can see it in her voice, because her voice starts trembling. He assigned me to do a voice coaching. Like, they invested in me to kind of, that was really, really good. So I had like a special kind of coaching to learn how to manage my voice better. And now I'm a yoga teacher. I can really use that kind of voice management very well. And with breathing to kind of, even when I get nervous, to keep it steady and full. So those kinds of things were great, because I had good mentors and people who believed in me and who wanted to see me succeed.
But how did you take feedback? Like you're in a place where you feel like you're excelling and someone is giving you this feedback that you need to improve in these areas. Like, how did you feel?
Well, if feedback, we had a good feedback culture. If feedback is done in a manner where it is kind of not personal and transmitted in a fair way, and also goes maybe in both directions, then I think it's great and it's a gift. Because the thing with feedback, I also received some feedback where I thought like, yeah, but no, I'm not going to change that. For example, they wanted me to kind of have I had a coach who said my hair is too unruly. And I mean,
what does that mean?
You as a woman with what do you call it, C4 hair or something, like with like 4C, right? Which is really unruly. You probably think like this is not unruly, but they said like your hair should be like straighter, and when you have a ponytail, sometimes I have like a bit of waves. I have not even curls compared to your hair. I have more like waves, and sometimes it shows a little bit. And they were like, you have to kind of use some gel to keep it in place. And I said, no, that's not me. Like, I'm not that doesn't even feel like me if I do that. And I don't want to change my personality. So this was kind of where I thought, okay, like that's your feedback, but I still can decide what I want to do with my hair. Like I can see that maybe in, like big conferences, it is better to like, they have like tie, so we all wear a suit. I have a button up shirt, so I don't really show, I don't have a short skirt. I don't have, all those kind of things when I kind of try to blend in a little to a certain extent, but I'm a woman and my hair is wavy and I love it that way. So that's what I'm going to wear. Yeah.
And it's always a struggle with females because a lot of people want to tell us how to do certain things.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's always like, you should carry yourself this way. You shouldn't carry yourself this way, which is really challenging. That if you like listen to everything that people tell you, you'll end up being confused and not really stick to, with who you are.
And especially as a young woman, you think like, I mean, they have so much more experience, so you take it very seriously. But I try to see it as a kind of, it's like a buffet. And whatever the feedback, the suggestions and everything is, I take what I like and make my own dish out of it, so I just try to not take it too personal.
For somebody who's climbed the corporate ladder, has gotten feedback, constructive and not so positive, when you talk about the buffet, like what is your measure that what I picked is actually working from the feedback that I've been given?
Yeah, of course that, and sometimes it's hard. Like sometimes you feel like, and sometimes you screw up. You don't always do everything right? Happens, right? You can just like get up, dust yourself off, and try again. So like I think also from the sports that I did, like with running marathons, trying again, like I don't know, in the gym you have to try over and over again, repeat the same things. That kind of builds a discipline and a willpower that are also very handy in the workplace, because you just think like, okay, it didn't work today, but like I'll try again tomorrow. And that way it was nice. It was a good journey. It was sometimes a very challenging journey when I got that big promotion. That was actually, I was kind of skipping a few steps of the career ladder and got like promoted, where I thought like, oh, do they really mean me? I suffered from imposter syndrome, which I think is a very female thing.
Very common with females.
Yeah. Yes. No man would probably say, oh, they have the wrong guy. I'm not good enough. But the women are always like, oh my God, like I really couldn't sleep at night because I thought, what if they realized they made a mistake and I'm not the one they wanted to promote? Yeah. But I grew out of it. I mean, I really try to work with, I already did yoga, so I try to manifest and like really, but it was definitely something that at the age of 27 I had.
I mean, I'm gonna say something very controversial. When females climb the corporate ladder at a young age, there's always like talks that maybe she slept with
definitely
the executive.
Definitely.
And what was going through your mind?
I had that too, definitely. Like rumors like that, especially from and it's not only from men, it's also from women, like that are, I don't know, jealous maybe or whatever. What can you do about it? Like, you can't really, if you start to defend yourself, it looks like it's true. So I kind of try to convince them with my skills. Like, that's what I did. I was very, I was at that time already engaged. I then got married like a few months after that big promotion. And I just tried to, stand my ground and show them that I was chosen for that, or that I got that promotion because I can actually do that job, and not because I have a pretty face or whatever it was.
And what is challenging with that is there are talks that are going on, and at the same time you are also suffering from an imposter syndrome. And it's not that you are suffering from an imposter syndrome from a place of where you're doubting yourself. It's just, I don't know, somehow naturally for us females, we feel like we need to build a lot of experience in order for us to get promoted. But then, as you're saying, for males, it's like, I've got a potential to be in this role. Therefore, I'll go. Even if I can't do it, I'll go. And we don't have that in us because we were never raised that way. So,
exactly. So you say something very important here. We were not raised in that way. That's also, I mean, from what I told before, with like me seeing the women in our community also working high level jobs is definitely helped. So I didn't really feel like I, as a woman, cannot do the same job as a man. I'm also very, very conscious about the pay gap. And I went into that negotiation because when I got that promotion, I then had to negotiate my salary, and probably they were counting on just like kind of getting me quite cheaply. But I am very conscious about the pay gap. That you have between females and males working the same position, you usually have a huge gap. In Germany, it's like we have the equal pay day on kind of in March. So we always say, like, in Germany, women work for free until the, I don't know what it is, 18th of March. And then they finally earn money compared to what their male
like when you're getting
co-workers get.
Your incentive.
No. It's just if you look at the salary for a year and you have the same skilled worker, women get that much less that it is as if they work for free until March. If you look at the whole year. That's it.
But how do you know that your male counterpart is earning a specific amount? Because this is really a big topic with the discrepancies between males and females.
I know.
How do you know when you get into that negotiation discussion?
You can't really know. And in Germany, it's also not that they have to disclose it. Like in Scandinavian countries, you can just look it up on the internet what this and that person earns. So you kind of have, either you have the contacts, like you are close friends with someone, so you can ask what they actually earn, or you have some kind of But I was thinking about that a lot. How do I go into this negotiation and everything? And I didn't want to, even though I had the imposter syndrome, I still didn't want to like be too cheap. And I thought, if they trust me enough to offer me that position, they probably also are willing to pay me an adequate amount. So what I offered then was for both of us kind of a trial period. I said, like, normally if you hire someone from the outside, you have a 6-month trial period, and then you can both cancel the contract. And I said, I'm willing to work for what you are suggesting for 6 months, but if we are then both satisfied with so when I'm satisfied with the work environment that you put me in, and you are satisfied with my performance, then you pay me what I want. And that's what they agreed on.
Did you put the numbers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm just, like when we talk about salaries, a lot of people are scared to get into this discussion because they also feel like, I got a contract, and what if they take it away?
Yeah.
Like in the beginning. And yeah, I always negotiate. I think from actually all positions that I've held, I've negotiated. Also, like moving to this side, also, looking at the contract, like calculating everything. Would I be able to afford, certain things? Okay, what is the benchmark? And
it's important. I know it's not really, women usually are not so interested in finances and don't really like to talk about money that much. And I don't know, often I see that friends are leaving everything that comes with finances, everything that is investments, that is kind of saving for the future, to their husbands. And I think, like, girl, you should get into that yourself, because your husband is not an insurance for like retirement or something,
I feel guilty. Well,
we should get into that as well.
Oh my gosh, I feel so guilty. And I'm really trying to get my finances in the right position. I now have like weekly meetings with my private banker to try to to strategize, because it's really just looking at my husband and say, well, you've got it covered. Well,
but it's also good to kind of
pledge my money.
But it's good to have a plan, because like what we will get from the retirement fund will not be enough.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
We need to find a kind of way to be independent and secure ourselves.
Smart. You see why she got promoted? And I want to touch a lot on your career coming to China, but you are really right when you say a lot of females don't talk a lot about finances. And I also don't understand why companies hide. They say like pay slips are confidential.
It is. When I worked in London for a year between my high school and starting university. And I had a friend, and we both opened our paychecks, and she had a different salary, even though I was longer in the company. I was training the staff. I was kind of a senior waitress. And I was like, why do you earn more? And she said, I'm British. And
what does that mean?
She was like, we were in London. She said, I'm British, and she was from a posh family. She was just like, her dad wanted her to get, like, to earn money, to understand how much money it's worth, because they were rich and she was just living off her dad's money. And he was like, you have to work. But she earned more than me, like a higher hourly wage. And I was like shocked, and I thought, like, but this is like what happens in the workplace everywhere. Like, you're from a different country, or you have a different gender, and like there's different, it was just like an eye-opening thing where I thought, like, yeah, wow, that's what it is, but I can still make it up with more tips. Anyways, it is just, life is not always fair. That's why we shouldn't be afraid to talk about those things.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're still far from that. And I would like to have like a dedicated episode where we're talking about, the like the pay slips. Why don't we show each other? How do we get into negotiation? Because these are like very, very important discussions.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
So then 3 years ago, you decided you're leaving Germany to come to China.
We decided actually longer ago, but COVID hit, and that's what pushed the assignment a little bit to the back. And then we wanted to have, we already had one child, we wanted to have a second child, and the second child turned out to be twins.
Surprise!
Surprise! And then we were, and I'm so happy we did that. We said we want to postpone until after the twins are born. If it was only one baby, we wanted to come to China and deliver here. But with the twins and me being a fan of statistics, looking it all up and seeing, twin pregnancies can be very complicated and have complicated births. And I wanted to do that at home where I understand the language, where I have family support and everything. So that's what we decided. So we postponed another year. So we were actually supposed to come 2 years before that. And then, but then finally 3 years ago, in the middle of COVID lockdowns, we arrived here
pack your bags
with 3 kids.
Oh my God.
It was it was quite an adventure, yeah.
You know, and I would like us to also unpack, like, how was it like when you moved to this side with 3 kids? However, I want to start with when you decided to come here. Where were you in your career? Because I believe now you're not in corporate anymore. You are running your own business. Like, where were you in your career?
Yeah, so it was quite interesting because I'm very passionate about my career and chasing my own dreams. So my husband knew that having a child and being on maternity break would be the perfect time to lure me to China, where I couldn't really work, because back then, during the COVID, the spouse visa meant you can't work. They were trying to keep the jobs inside the country, so not really being generous with giving work permits to spouses. And my husband knew that I would have a hard time accept that, but because we were coming with 3 kids, he said, like, you know what, you can take a break. I was still on maternity leave, and you can kind of enjoy the break a little, but there's also a possibility, and that was what I started first, to give classes at the German embassy school, which is German territory. So
here in
China, it doesn't apply with the rules of the, with the spouse visa and everything, because it's German territory. So I started with that because I couldn't imagine myself just being a stay-at-home mom.
I'm just also trying to understand you having to hand in the resignation.
I didn't have that because I am, and I'm still on maternity leave. In Germany, we have 3 years per child that we can take off work, and I'm still on that maternity leave. So I still have my position secured, and it's even allowed to, like, of course I checked it out. I checked everything, and I checked with my company as well. It's allowed to to work on site and to also have build your own company. Yeah,
guys, why are we not staying in Germany? Wow, you are talking. I'm just like, why are we not working in Germany?
So I didn't have to
flexibility.
Yeah, it's nice.
You know, and now I'm seeing this trend with a lot of German wives who like, they are expats wives or spouses in China or just anywhere. A lot of them are on maternity leave.
Yes.
So it gives you that leverage to still continue with your career.
Exactly. Because when you go back, and you will be taken back into if you have a long break, you can't go back to the same position because they have to fill it, but you at least get the same level. So that is quite good. That is a really good offer. And it's actually great. We get 3 years per child, and I had twins, so I had 6 years, and I still had a lot of contingent from my first son because I went back to work after half year. So it's great. Germany in that sense has a very great social system, and a system where you can really try to combine career and family. Yes. And I only realized, to be honest, when I'm here and seeing the Chinese circumstances for the moms, talking to a lot of moms from all over the world how lucky we are in Germany. And the thing is that the people don't even realize it, because for us it's normal, right? You only see when you go out of your pod, out of your...
South Africa, it's only 100 days. I had an interview also with Christina. She also has twins. I don't know if you know her. She's got twins.
The career coach?
Yes,
yeah, I know her. Yeah.
So she also had that break, and I'm like, guys, what?
Yes, like, it's nice. Yeah.
And I feel like when your husband gets such an assignment, it's also great that you could also take a break and take care of the kids.
Yes.
Because to be honest with you, for me, it's not easy at all. Like being in a foreign country where you don't have family, you can't just, get anyone to help you.
Yes.
It's really challenging. So,
it's challenging, and also I think people need a sense of purpose. It's nice to, maybe have a month off where you can explore and go to brunches and museums and whatever there is. But you also need a sense of purpose. Like, what are you doing that has some value for society, or what are you passionate about? What is your reason to get up in the morning and get going and stuff like that? So I think this is kind of important too. And I have a group here in Beijing of women that are coming together once a week, doing handicrafts for charity.
Are you the one teaching, or?
Yes, I'm the one leading the group. Also, teaching some what is it, like, techniques, but been doing this for the 4th year now. I'm part of the organization team for the Christmas market at the German embassy. It's quite of a big event here in Beijing. You definitely have to come with your kids.
Yeah, we are definitely coming.
It's really, really nice. It's a really German style Christmas market, and there we are the Christmas angels. We have our own big stall where we sell decorations, presents, and everything.
That's great.
It's really nice, and everything we sell, the profit goes to charities in Beijing related to children, families mainly, and it's a great project. And this also, when I came here 3 years ago, and I was not able to start working, but I started to, because I love being creative and doing handicraft, so I started to meet this group. And when their leader left just a few months after I arrived, I took over and has been doing it ever since. And this is also a great way to kind of fill your life with purpose, finding something like that you're passionate about, that where you can give back something. And yeah, I think we all need something like that. Maybe not the handicraft, but everyone has something where they can, find some purpose, volunteer, or just
No, definitely. I mean, if you're just waking up in the morning and whatever that you're doing is not fulfilling, then that's where a lot of people end up getting depressed.
Yes.
But I'm quite impressed with just how your career turned out, motherhood, also moving to China, because my question was going to be, you leave your career and then you say, I'm going to support your spouse. But I'm quite glad that actually everything is still like in order, basically.
Yeah, I mean, my husband was always was always very supportive of me, and he knows how I am, and that I'm not really the one that is happy with just being a stay-at-home mom. So we tried to find something else for me to have that purpose. So when I did my yoga teacher training back in Germany, we always thought this is a great way to explore, to actually do that, teaching yoga here, because in Germany with my full-time job, I never really got the chance to really teach a regular yoga class, because I was always traveling and I couldn't say I'm every Tuesday there and can take over a class or something, a regular class. And then COVID hit and the studios were closed anyway, so I never really got into teaching. So I thought, you know what, I'm thinking about that so much, because like, this is my passion, but I wouldn't really probably just resign from my job to start teaching yoga in Germany. But here in China, I have the possibility to try it out, to see if that passion of mine can really be an everyday thing. And I mean, we all know that, yes, it can. And then I love it so much that it never really feels like work. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, because it is such a gift to be able to do something that you love, that you are passionate about, that you can try out, that you can just try out and see if it could be a business that, you know, that it could be your new purpose, your new everyday thing, without any pressure. Yeah, a new career path, and how everything developed, and that I'm now able to have my own company doing exactly that, the yoga, the fitness, the events, combining my original studies, because I did event management and everything there. So it all comes together now. And also being a mom, because I work with, you know, I do prenatal and postnatal yoga and fitness. So I work with pregnant women, with new moms. Today I had Mama Move in the park, where the moms are with the strollers, and we move through the park having our circuits, upper body, lower body, and it's great. I love to combine all that, because all of that are my identities, right? And that way,
you're happy the most.
Yes.
So I want to understand, you did the yoga instructor training in Germany.
I did that in Germany. I did fitness coach license here in China. I did the license online, and I had a mentor who was coaching me here. So that was really lucky, because there was, it was, you know, how sometimes things just fall into place. And I met the right person who saw that, yes, I'm a yoga teacher, but most of all, I'm also a fitness girl, because I actually started with fitness before I found to yoga. So I was always both, which is quite unusual for a yoga teacher. Usually you're then not a fitness coach, or you're a fitness coach but not a yoga teacher. It's quite unusual to have both of that combined, and I think that's like one of my strengths, that I can also that I just have both of those sides, and can bring a little bit of fitness into the yoga world, and the other, and a bit of like mindfulness and spirituality into the gym. So like combining that. And that was really lucky, that he saw my potential and said, like, how do you feel about like becoming a coach? And actually I said, that has been my dream for such a long time. But you know how it is when you have top grades in school, everyone expects you to go to university. You can't just say, you know what, I'm most happy in the gym, so I just want to be a fitness coach. You know, you go and study because you think people expect that of you. So that was what happened to me. But I was actually considering that career path before I then decided to study business, because I thought, okay, business management kind of opens me all kind of opportunities. But
I'm sure you need some business knowledge, you know, to manage your business correctly.
Exactly. It comes in super handy now to understand different mechanics, to have explored marketing, but also pricing models and tax and accounting, even though you have an accountant, but you still have to have some basic understanding of different things, supply chain management, whatever it is, right? Human resources and stuff like that. So it is definitely good. And I think like, it all was, you know, kind of happening for a reason, it feels, and falling into place now. At least that's how it feels. And I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. I mean, starting a business in a foreign country, I'm sure it's not so easy.
Yeah. especially here, because let's face it, the language, oh my God, like I don't speak Chinese and everything is in Chinese, and with the signs, you can't even read it. If you're in Spain, you can still read the words, but not here.
So how do you like manage that? Like you have to register your company, and then you have to like all the documentation. How do you manage them?
You need to have help. Otherwise, it's not possible. So I have an agent, and I trust her completely. Like, she is really, she is worth every penny that she gets, because she really is managing it all so well. So from the moment she was recommended to me by another expat who opened his own company here and has been operating his own business successful for a year. So I approached him and I said, you know what, I want to start my own business too, and maybe you can give me some advice, because you've been through it. And I think it's important to ask for help, you know, to say, like, this is what I want to do, and maybe you have some advice because you've been through the same thing. And he shared his agent contact with me, and I approached her, and 4 weeks later I already had the business license. So she really is well prepared. She does a good job, and it's amazing how helpful she is, even though having the business license is the first step, but then a lot more things follow. So like, it is a constant struggle here. It is a constant, like, you take a step forward and sometimes you have to take 2 steps back, but at the end we're kind of getting somewhere. But like, the company bank account thing is a big mess here. And even though everything is so digital when it comes to company stuff, it is very, very, you know, paper and stamps. And
I know, I mean, going to open a bank account takes like the whole day. So I can just imagine for an account.
Oh my God. It is interesting. It is a struggle sometimes, but I learned to be patient, to trust the process, and also to trust my agent, who also is doing my accounting. I also have a Chinese assistant, and I just hired some people who help me with PR, because it is just different.
It's a full business.
Yes, wow. I guess so.
And I would love to understand also, like, what is prenatal yoga and also postnatal yoga? Like, what is it? What are the benefits?
It has so many benefits. Like, prenatal yoga is literally, once you get pregnant, you shouldn't do the regular yoga anymore, because there are some practices in regular yoga that are not recommended for pregnant women. For example, holding the breath during the breath work. In normal yoga, you are a lot on your tummy, you know, in Cobra, you do a lot of core work and everything. So prenatal yoga is literally just in modified yoga with modified exercises, asanas. We still do sun salutations, we still do asanas, but we modify them according to fit the pregnancy. Exactly. And the postnatal yoga is the same. It's modified. Then you can hold the breath again, because you don't have to, you know, you don't have that little being inside of you anymore, but you have a very weak pelvic floor. You have a diastasis rectus, so the opening of the ab muscles that we need to get back together. So it is more of rebuilding the core strength, rebuilding the pelvic floor strength, strengthening the body, especially for, you know, you have to hold the baby, you have breastfeeding, uncomfortable positions, stuff like that. So strengthening, stretching, and also what is often neglected a little bit, especially in Chinese yoga sessions, I feel, mental preparation for birth, mental reassurance in postnatal, like, you are doing a great job. You can do this. You had a hard night. That's normal. I hear you. You are doing whatever you can, you know, just this kind of. Most of the people now in the classes are still foreigners, but I hope to change that. That's why I'm also like looking for Chinese people, good with Chinese social media, good with PR, because I want to enter the Chinese market, especially with I'm working on a collection for activewear that is suitable for pregnant women and for postpartum women, so suitable for breastfeeding, for growing bump and everything. And that is a thing that we don't really have that much in China right now. So I realized in my classes, people come and say like, where can I get some prenatal workout leggings? And I looked and it's like, there is really none. So, okay, I guess I gotta do it myself. Yeah. So, and that's what I want to get, not only for the foreigners, but into the market, into the Chinese.
And my next question was going to talk about your merchandise, like what inspired it. And now you just said like people would be asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like where it originated.
That's where it originated, exactly. So what I actually planned when I realized, okay, the activewear for pregnant women is like non-existent here. I asked a brand that I'm ambassador for, that I've been working with for a year. I asked them, can I assist you in creating a prenatal, postnatal activewear line? Okay. Like, I know what we need. You have the factories, the designers. Why don't we work together? And then they said, Marie, you are the prenatal, postnatal expert and the social media, mom that works out. Why don't you do your own brand? That's how it started. And I was like, why not? Yeah.
And the self-care club, like the name, where does it originate? Like what inspired it?
That is, well, the activewear line is the one thing, and then that's my my merch. I just, I have some things that I'm very passionate about. One thing is like self-care. The other thing is empowering moms. So I would say my two most important designs, where I also hold the copyright for now in China, is the self-care club and the Wow Mom. Because when you think about the word wow and it's mirrored, it means mom, right? This can't be a coincidence. So so
I want that one as well.
If you look into your little gift that I brought, you will find it.
I'll put a picture of it. I love that one.
Yeah. So then I just started, to I have the designs in my head, like the self-care club. I don't know. I just put it down. I put it on paper, and then I have a friend. She's a graphic designer, and she's like, I would put it into a printable file for you. And that's how I started. Like, and now I have the designs not only on shirts or tops. I also have them on mugs. Like, you have a mug in your little goodie bag, and I've
got a lot of things. I can bring my gifts here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. And that's just how it started. And one thing leads to another. So what I just have new now is like little notebooks with the same thing, like self-care club and Wow Mom, because journaling, I think, is an important part for just reflection, for gratitude and everything. And I put little reminders inside the books, like, Mom, you're wow. Like, have you scheduled some mama me time? Because I think it's mama me balance for me is very important. You're a mom, but you also need your me time. So schedule some me time, book a massage, ask some friends out for, going to dance or whatever it is. I think it's important to do things that are not related to your kids, to stay yourself. Yeah.
Oh my God. So I was talking to another mom, and they were talking about not having time to themselves because they're so busy. Like, you get up in the morning, getting the kids ready. After that, to go to work. When you come back, you have to get the kids ready for bed as well.
Yeah.
So it can be so consuming in terms of your energy, in terms of like your time as well.
Yeah, of course.
Although like you love it so much, and I was looking at like when you've got like 24 hours in a day, how do you distribute that, those hours to also fit yourself?
Yeah.
And for me, if you've got the means to outsource some of the responsibilities, do outsource them.
Yeah.
Because I go to gym at 5. That's like my me time.
Yeah.
To just focus on myself.
Yeah.
Because I know once I get up, and then the kids are up, everyone is up, everyone is mommy, 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 and oh my gosh, it's so frustrating sometimes. I'm just like, this is a lot. So
it
I
is.
really
It
like
is.
that, and also like the journaling. I love that.
So I think it's not easy, and it won't work every day, but a few times a week, I'm sure you can schedule some time for yourself. And of course, some people like to watch maybe an episode of, I don't know, their favorite TV series, whatever it is. I don't really do that because I like to spend my time differently. But everyone has their own thing, right? And instead of, I mean, often we also waste a little bit of time. I feel like nowadays we are all so busy, and there's screens and like noises and videos and reels and social media everywhere, and we spend a lot of time on our phones. So what if we take that time of like mindless scrolling and actually do something that nourishes us? If it's booking a facial, or going for a massage, or going to the gym to work out in peace, or just doing having yoga, a coffee, or doing nothing, or doing yoga, or going for a drink, or whatever it is. I think everyone has some kind of opportunities in their everyday life or throughout the week where you see, maybe I could switch that for actually some quality me time.
Yes. So there's I read Atomic Habits. So they talk about habit stacking. So basically you remove old negative or bad habits with positive habits. So it's so hard to just switch from negative to positive. So now instead of that, you just introduce positive habits on top of negative habits. And then the negative ones can automatically fall away. So
because really you realize like it makes me feel good to, you know.
That's true. I used to watch TV, like would come back from work. It was just like me and my husband's time. Like, you know, you want to watch soapies, series, and but now we don't watch TV at all. So
and you have so much more time, right?
We've got so much time, yes. And now we read. We do like a lot of positive.
That's good.
Watching TV to some people is positive, but at the same time, I feel like there isn't much benefit in terms of like your growth. So we do like a lot of you know, self growth. I think
self-development, right? And other people love to listen to podcasts, I think it's also great for me to generate new ideas. If I feel stuck, it is great to go either hiking or go for a long walk or jog, where you can kind of have a repetitive movement. You have some nature around, and then the ideas or the blockage in your brain, if you ever experience that, kind of goes and it can flow again. So, but of course, everyone has a different thing that they might be attracted to, and to find out that, can just, journaling helps as well. And like asking yourself, what would I really like to do, right? If I have an hour to myself, how would I want to spend that hour? And sometimes it gets stressful because you think like, oh, the kids are taken care of. I have an hour. What do I do? Do I do the shopping? Do I clean? Do I take a nap? What would be the best? Do I work out? Like,
that is true. So how do you distribute your time between having kids, having a husband, your business as well? How do you distribute your time?
Well, it's a good question and a constant struggle. Because so I try to be with my kids in the morning, and I try to be with them when they come home from school, to pick them up from the bus, to have some time on the playground. But of course, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes there's traffic, or then some appointment takes longer, or whatever it is. But usually I try to schedule those into my my schedule and plan the other things around. So I start my classes usually when they are in school. So I either have a very early morning classes when they are still sleeping, like 6 to 7, and then I'm there for them having breakfast, taking them to the bus, and then I start again at 9 when they are already at school, and I do for example, the prenatal mama baby stuff I can do wonderfully in the morning, because those hours are great for those activities, and they are not working because they are either pregnant or just had a baby. And then I try to do my meetings, my photo shootings, my advertisements, everything like marketing materials, strategy and stuff in the early afternoon. Like I always usually schedule lunch meetings and, using that time. And then I often have some either business dinners or networking events and sometimes classes at night. But then I try to have my husband home on those days where I am away, so that we kind of take turns, that the kids always have someone of us, either mom or dad, to have home for dinner and stuff. So then I usually start like late again. So after 8.
So you don't have a helper at all?
We do. I have an IE as well. Yes. Otherwise, I would have to spend much more of my time for household chores, and I kind of skip that. I mean, I do the laundry in the morning. I put them into a machine because I have a specific way of like separating the laundry and using this detergent with that. But the IE does the ironing, the cleaning and everything. I outsource that. And that's, of course, a very fortunate situation here in China. In Germany, I had someone helping me once a week with like cleaning the house. But of course, here it's nice. She comes from Monday to Friday in the afternoons, which is easier. And it helps a lot, because that way I can concentrate on other things. So what is also quite fortunate is that I don't need much sleep. So I kind of have...
How many hours do you sleep?
5 to 6 is totally enough for me. I don't need like 8 hours or something. So I have like, I always feel like I have 3 extra hours in the day that I can use to get things done. And that's actually how probably, that's maybe my advantage, because I then can really get a lot of things done. Yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. Like I started in school. When I was working several jobs on the side, I was doing the dancing competitions and I was training for a marathon, and I realized, you know what, 5 hours are enough for me. 5 hours of sleep. I started that at the age of 16, so I've been doing this for a long time.
I know a lot of people with A personalities, they sleep less and they work more.
Yeah, I don't know. It's and it's not that I feel like... Sometimes I shared because I used to track my sleep, and I shared it with my mentor or with the other coaches, colleagues, and they were like, how can your muscles even recover? Like, this is weird. Like, if you read about sleep and recovery and everything, but I think there's a certain type of people that just doesn't need that much sleep, because I also know some people, usually high performers with, like, I don't know, a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, I don't feel like I'm compromising my sleep for something. It's like,
sorry, I need my 8 hours. I need my 8 hours, and then I will be productive. I try to say, you know what, I'm going to wake up maybe at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I'm a morning person, and try to work. And then I would do it probably like for 2 days, and I'm like, is it really worth it?
And it's fine, because everyone is different. And I think I don't know if you know this Ayurvedic concept of doshas. Like, we all are consistent of 3 elements, but you have a predominant element. So there's like fire, earth, that's one, that's the pitta. Then you have the air, the ether, and you have the earth, the kapha, which is more like an earthy energy. And you have like, so literally it's like fire, earth, air. You're consistent of these three elements. And usually you have all three, but one is predominant, and I have a very, very high dominance of fire. And fire people, you don't really need much sleep.
Is it like fire for energy, that you've got a lot of energy? Or
it's a lot of energy. You thrive on certain things. It's also, when you look at the body type, usually you can see, like Ayurvedic practitioners can see from your body type, from your eyes, from the clarity of your tongue, from all of that, they can see what you are. How is your hair? How is your skin? And they can kind of, put you into categories. And I realized that that fire, like Pitta dominant people, usually don't really need that much sleep. But Kapha, for example, need a lot of sleep. So maybe it's not about the choice you make. It's just about who you are. You can't really change it.
So it's like more of like your blood type, where if you're a type A, probably like being a vegetarian would allow your body to digest
different things, and it's also about easily. When do you wake up, what do you eat? Do you eat more hot food, more cold food, raw foods? Do you eat meat? Do you eat dairy? Do you eat carbs or more protein based? And for example, for me with the fire, before I even know that like my dosha was like this, I felt like I can't do low carb. If I do low carb, I can't function. Like, it was a big trend in the fitness industry. Don't eat carbs, like eat protein, eat even keto, or eat raw foods. And I felt like I was standing beside myself. I felt like I can't function anymore. I felt like I am not myself anymore. And if I don't eat carbs. And then later, when I did my yoga teacher training, I did this analysis with the Ayurvedic practitioner, and they gave me what I am, and also what my suggestions are for lifestyle, for food and everything. And I thought it makes so much sense, because they were like, you have this fire and you constantly need to fuel it, and the fuel is carbs. If you don't get carbs, you're running out of your fire, And I thought like, okay, now I know low carb doesn't work for me.
So in conclusion, I would like to, if anyone would like to get hold of you, would like to join your classes, would like to buy your merch, where can they find you?
Good question. I'm working on a mini program, but it's not ready yet. So far, WeChat and social media channels, like we have a WeChat channel, WeChat official account, where we usually communicate the events, where you can also find some infos on products, where you can also contact me directly for orders, or find out where are classes happening or events happening, and then you can join. So I guess we just put in the QR codes, the links, and then it's easiest to join.
So I'll put the links in the description box, and then I'll also add her social media handle, so that anyone who would like to then support, join, can then find the details.
Yay. Thank you.
So in closing, any last words? Putting you in the spot.
always difficult to find the perfect last words, but I think what could be the message of today, keep moving. That's important, but also keep standing up for yourself, whether it is in the workplace, standing your ground and speaking for your rights. Is it the right for equal pay? Is it the right for, just like being taken seriously? But also as a mom, stand up for yourself. Ask whoever your support system is it your husband? Is it your mother? Is it, someone, your babysitter? Ask for time for yourself. I think it's very important that you take care of yourself in order to be a good mom, to be a good engineer, whatever it is that you are, where we are at the like, who are you definition again. But it's important to find a balance. And it doesn't just come by itself. We all have 24 hours in the day, and it's the question, how do we distribute this 24 hours? So we have to actively make decisions, take it into our own hands, and ask for help or ask for, support on that. And that's what I would like to give to you, like, stand up for yourself.
Thank you so much, Marie.
Self-care club. Join the self-care club.
Join the self-care club. Then you will learn more about how you can go about taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for honoring my invite. It was really not a flexible one, or rather not a smooth sailing one. I was late. I'm so sorry. So we went out with the kids from school. And then NJ somehow, the Didi, I ordered a taxi and then he ran away. So the guy cancelled. I had to order another one. Coming here, long traffic. So thank you so much. And then we start, one microphone dies. Oh my God. And then
but we managed.
Who was supposed to come to take care of the kids was also late. So, what a day. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining in. And if you are joining in for the first time, please do make sure that you subscribe if you really enjoy this content. And if you are returning, you are my colleague. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Please do engage so that we can boost the algorithm and keep making sure that we deliver consistently, having different guests every day, learning about different cultures, learning about how other countries are. So thank you so much. And to you, Marie,
thank
all
you
the
so
best
much
with your business.
Thanks.
I mean, I see your Instagram booming. Also move with Marie. I will be there soon. I will definitely be there soon.
Yay!
So I can't wait.
Happy to have you.
And thank you so much also for my lovely merch. I love it. It feels very comfortable. Also.
Yeah, right.
This is like a different.
It's 100% cotton, but because it's with the stone washed, it's a little bit softer. I feel like it has a really nice, nice feel. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Nice and gentle.